One more thing. I got the GOAT from Locked On Auburn to tell you about Miles Kelly,
baby.
and
Let's go.
this Jaylen Williams. We'll talk about all that and more on today's Locked On Mavs. One more thing.
Yeah.
I'm here because I have to do it.
Dallas is going to get a seat at the table.
It's me versus the machine.
Nice penetrating thrust to the middle.
People forget about fun.
Hot man, the hot player.
Wait. One more thing.
Yeah.
Fired up.
Welcome. You're still locked on to the Dallas Mavericks. My name is Nick Angstadt, media member and NBA channel manager of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every single day. Today's episode, I got Zac Blackerby, Locked On Auburn. Yeah, we're going to spend some time talking about the Auburn guys. Miles Kelly on a two-way for the Mavs. We got Jaylin Williams, but not that Jaylen Williams, and also not that Jaylen Williams as well, a different Jaylen Williams.
The third Jaylen Williams.
On the Mavs Summer League team. And this is really an excuse for me and Zach to do a show because we've been talking about this for years. Zach is he's the college channel manager. We're like, if there ever is a time for an Auburn Mavericks crossover, we would love to do it because we're great friends and we just love to do a show together.
I thought for weeks, Nick, y'all were going to take Janai Broom with the number 1 overall pick. I was shocked, floored, when Cooper Flagg went to the Mavericks.
On draft night, you were waiting, right? You were like waiting to who is Silver going to call out here?
Well, I feel ridiculous because I ordered a custom Janai Broom Mavs jersey in anticipation for it, and now that's not even a thing.
Bro, what number did you pick for him?
4.
Broom 4. A Broom.
What did Auburn? Number 4. Do y'all have a 4?
I think it was Michael Finley. I don't know if he's going to get that number.
Got it. All right.
So Zac Blackerby, he's the host of Locked On Auburn. We're gonna do some normal things. It's gonna go weird directions for sure with this show. But
okay,
you watched Miles Kelly last year.
Yeah,
he transferred over from Georgia Tech. It seemed to be a pretty big transfer. Like I read some places they said it was one of the best transfers of Bruce Pearl as the coach, like one of his tenure. What was it like? What did you expect from him when he first transferred over?
Well, I actually think they got more out of Miles Kelly than they were expecting to. I mean, he was a guy who was kind of like the last piece of the puzzle for this super veteran team that Bruce Pearl was putting together. And then he got there and like there were rumors and rumblings that he like didn't miss a free throw throughout like all of like offseason camp and all of that stuff. Where it's like, oh, okay. All right, sweet, cool. I interviewed him in person and I was like, you don't have to confirm that or deny. He's like, yeah, no comment. I'm like, okay, Miles.
He no comment and not missing a free throw. He didn't want to jinx it, you think?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, he's a super chill, guy that's going to be good for the locker room for sure. But, spent the first half of the season, I would say, like kind of nursing an injured wrist on his dominant hand. But over the course of the season, you kind of saw these spurts of him being effective from outside. And then obviously he was a really good defender for the Auburn Tigers. And I mean, a battle-tested dude, an experienced player. And I think he's certainly worthy of a shot at playing at the next level.
Yeah, so Miles Kelly's a 6'5" wing. He's a great shooter, like you said. And he's coming in. He's on the two-way spot for the Dallas Mavericks. And two ways in the past, the Mavs have kind of just like, to me, have just tried flyers on guys, but last year especially was the best class of two-way guys the Mavs have ever had, and they needed them because they used them a ton. They had a ton of injuries on the Mavericks team, and so these two-way spots I think are important because of how injured this Mavericks team can get. Anthony Davis, Anthony Davis just had his retina like reattached to his eye. Like that was a big problem. He just had surgery on that.
Man, that guy has anything that can go wrong is going to happen to that dude.
Why?
When he's healthy, he's really good.
When he's healthy, top 10 player in the NBA. But so you mentioned Miles Kelly had a wrist injury. How did that affect him during the season?
Yeah, I mean, I think you saw him, pull up or choose to attack the rim less, and so he pulled up, and maybe he took more shots, that might have been more contested than he would have liked. But Bruce Pearl, Auburn's head coach, is never going to tell guys to like not shoot it. They all have the green light. He's certainly a player's coach, and it's certainly benefited. But Miles is a guy, though, that when late in the game, when every possession seemed to matter a little bit more, Miles consistently stepped up. And he was the veteran guy, one of several of Auburn's veteran guys that wanted the ball in the biggest moments. And he had an incredible moment to to beat Tennessee, which was one of the better games of the season. I'm incredibly biased, but I think most people would agree. But yeah, I mean, Miles, as far as, nursing that wrist, I think you saw him attack the basket a little bit more towards the end of the year.
When you say he's the veteran guy, he's 22. He's not the oldest player on that Auburn team. The jokes flew all season about how old the Auburn team was.
Yeah, we were older than the Thunder. Yeah.
When you say he's the veteran guy, would you say he was the leader of the team, or what do you mean by veteran?
I mean, I would say Janai Broom was the leader, but right. I definitely think Miles was certainly a voice there for sure. And like, they didn't really have any young guys outside of Tahad Pettiford, who we thought was going to enter or some people thought he was going to enter the draft. And then obviously he stayed, but I mean, it seemed like he was kind of the voice of reason in the locker room, and, kind of one of those key glue guys, which is crucial to have a run like Auburn did last year.
Yeah. Interesting. The Final Four shirt. That's right. Just repping it.
That's right.
How upset were you when it ended?
I mean, I thought this team was good enough to win it all.
We talked about it all year.
But I mean, you can't be upset about going to your second Final Four in 6 years. I mean, not a whole lot of schools can say that they were able to do that. So I do think that was cool. And I do think, Auburn won the toughest conference in the history of college basketball this past season. When you look at Ken Palm and all the analytics, the SEC was stupid. It was stupid how deep it was. And I mean, Auburn really ran through it. They clinched it with like a week and a half left to go in the season. It's pretty remarkable.
It felt like the Mavs going through the West in 2024, where it was like they just got beat up on the way there. They're just playing better team after better team. And then the Celtics were like, hey, we just kind of like walked through the East. And then that's how it went in the end for the Mavs. Just
imagine having a guy, though, that like carries you through all that, and then you trade him. Are we not doing that yet?
Kyrie's still on the team.
Oh, okay.
No, we get comments on that every single day. Stop talking about Luka. Guys, it's good.
All right. We're talking about Miles Kelly.
People are going to bring it up. People are going to bring it up every time. We're just going to. The biggest trade in sports history.
I thought Cooper Flagg fixed all that.
Some of us are over it. Some people are definitely not over it.
Where are you on that, on the over it scale?
Personally?
Yeah.
Personally, I'm like, there's still going to be ripple effects. I'm still going to talk about it. I'm still going to compare what a Luka offense was to now a Cooper Flagg offense. I'm still going to talk about the difference between Luka coming into the draft and Cooper Flagg coming into the draft. Like, I'm still going to compare those things and talk about it. But we have moved into a new era. It just is what it is now. Like, Luka is not going to be a Maverick ever again. So
yeah, the Miles Kelly era of the
Miles Kelly, the Auburn era has started.
Let's go. Took them long enough. Yeah.
The summer league coach, Josh Broghammer, today at practice.
What's his name? Josh
Broghammer.
No, it's not.
Yes, that's his name. What do you think his name is?
I don't know. That just didn't sound real. Broghammer.
I was thinking also about the Thunder have a guy named Barnheiser, and I got them.
I could see how you would mix those up.
As I was going through that in my head.
Yeah.
He said this about Miles Kelly today.
Okay.
He can shoot the rock.
Yes.
Last week, he played with Brandon Williams, who was a two-way guy for the Mavs last year and is now a regular spot guy for the Mavs. Had a great end of the season. He played with Brandon Williams a lot in 5-on-5 stuff, and he was like, man, I don't have to do anything but just stand there and be ready and shoot. I also read a story about how he said the same thing about Auburn. He transferred to Auburn because he wanted to play with better players. He wanted to get set up a little bit more. How did you see that come to fruition for him?
Yeah, I mean, he was maybe the third scoring option on the team. Yeah. I mean, Janai, then probably Denver and Tahad, then him. Yeah. So, I mean, he was open a ton, and he was open on, the corner three. That was kind of his sweet spot pretty consistently on both sides. So, yeah, I believe that. And just a dude who also, like, I don't think this gets talked about enough, but like, he's such a good defender, and he's so willing to, if he's going to play, just like 6-8 minutes a night or whatever for Dallas until he gets a better roster spot, like, he's going to give everything he's got, which I think is, I mean, everybody has comments about defense being played in the NBA or whatever, but like,
it wins championships.
It's important. It's important. And I think he's going to do that. I think he's going
Defense wins championships is what Nico Harrison said like 80 times after the Luka trade, by the way.
He's a really good GM.
Because he picked up Miles Kelly.
That's just what they say. Your
Coming up.
co-host asked, if he should still be employed, and he's like, "I've done a good job." Like, yeah,
yeah, right.
I'm sure he has.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Coming up, let's talk about an underrated aspect of Miles Kelly's game that Coach Broghammer talked about today at practice. And what is Jaylen Williams? Who Jaylen Williams? We'll talk about that and more coming up. Today's episode of Locked On Mavs, the One More Thing, is brought to you by. What's it brought to you by?
Monarch Money, baby. Let's
Monarch
go.
Money. Ever wish managing your money felt easier? It can. Whether you're growing your savings, planning for a big purchase, you got a couple of kids, you bought a house, you've got a whole bunch of money things going around. You got multiple businesses, you've got all kinds of things. Yeah. You could use Monarch Money yourself, but it's not just a budgeting app. Is it just a budgeting app?
No, it's not just a budgeting app. It's a complete financial command center. Sure, it helps with the budgeting. I love, Nick. Normally, you have to combine different financial apps for the budgeting and then managing your investments.
You do.
No, the dashboard at Monarch Money,
it's great.
It's got everything. This is the budgeting stuff. This is the investing stuff. It's all right there in front of you.
Just waving both his hands in front of his face. That's exactly what it is. I love the flow charts where you've got, this is my income over here. And then coming from here is how I spend all the money. And it goes across like this. And then this is what I've spent over here. So you can see the difference between those two. And I love seeing those different flow charts.
Yep. 100%.
Take control of your
finances. The first thing you ever said to me is you're like, I love Dirk, the Mavs, and flow charts. Monarch Money's made for you, my guy.
That is true. Circa like 2019 when I first had my first conversation, when we were doing social for Locked On, before we were channel managers.
We did something else before that.
What was that?
We were writing for the website stuff. Remember that?
Oh, clutch point. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use the code LOCKEDONNBA at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com. Code LOCKEDONNBA for half off your first year.
Shut it down! Let's go home!
It's the One More Thing bonus episode of Locked On Mavs, where Zach and I remember fondly our history together through the ad breaks.
People either love this or hate this. There's no in between.
It's very true. They're either gonna be like, "What the hell are these guys doing?"
You're like, y'all have college shows? What?
Well, we had JJ on to talk about Cooper Flagg for sure. So they're aware of college shows. So we definitely have that. But yeah,
got it.
Zach from Locked On Auburn is here. We're talking about Miles Kelly. You mentioned his defense. Talk to me about his defense a little bit more. What kind of players was he asked to defend? Was he considered their best defender, the best defender on Auburn? Like, what was his task?
Yeah, he wasn't the best defender. Denver Jones was Auburn's best defender, who was the starting point guard last year, but obviously Miles started next to him, and there would be games where he would guard the primary wing. There'd be times where he would guard the whoever was bringing it down the floor. So I mean, I think defensively he could guard at the college level with his length. He could guard 1 through 4 if you needed him to. Obviously, at the next level, I don't think that's going to be able to happen. But at the college level, I thought he was pretty effective at that.
So he was more of a guards, run around screens, that kind of guy, or he's a point of attack type defender. Right. And the Mavs have needed guys like that. And if you can do that at a high level, you can do big things in the NBA. So we're talking about a real 3-and-D type player, which is, you're going to have a spot on an NBA team if you can do both those things.
I mean, you know how far you can run.
How far can you run?
Miles.
I'm going to let you sit in that one. You felt good about that one?
Hated it.
Coach Brockhammer on Summer League today at the practice also mentioned Kelly's rebounding is an underrated skill. He said he's a great athlete, and we encourage, as the Mavericks, if you get the rebound, push the ball up the floor, get that thing up the floor in the first 3 seconds. And that's something that he's been doing as one of our top guys here in practices and in fives last week, getting the ball and bringing it up the floor. What did you see from that aspect from him in Auburn?
Yeah. I mean, he would definitely be asked to bring it down the floor a good bit. And I mean, Bruce Pearl offense, they play fast, ton of pace. And so, yeah, I mean, scoring in transition Auburn was one of the better teams in the country at that.
You can say in Auburn, at Auburn, with Auburn, on Auburn. You could say you have to say in Dallas, on the Mavericks, with the Mavs. I guess you could say with Dallas.
No, I think making the Final Four allows you to do lots of things. 100%.
I'm just saying because it's the name of the team, but also the name of the school and also the name of the city as well. You could say all those different things.
I've never really thought about it that way, but I guess that's true because it's more of a place than like a team. It's
a
like
place and a school.
That's right. A city. Yeah.
Incredible.
State of mind.
Incredible. Tell me about Jaylin Williams. What Jaylen Williams, 6'8" forward. He was all SEC in 2023-24. He played Auburn for 5 years. This I still don't fully understand as guys playing 5 years.
Yeah. Well, one of his years was a COVID year. And so that everybody just acts like that didn't happen when it came to eligibility. So yeah, super interesting career, super historic career when you talk about Auburn. When he was done, he was the winningest player in Auburn basketball history. Dylan Cardwell beat that record this year. I think he was another 5-year guy. But yeah, a guy who I'm pretty sure he started at 3 different positions. His first year, Auburn had like these self-imposed postseason bans and I think some of that had to do with Bruce Pearl kind of knew the team that he had. Sharif Cooper was kind of the star of that team, and there was drama of like, is he eligible? Is he not? But due to that, like Jaylen played a ton of center that year. And then, I think his natural position at college was the 4. That I'm pretty sure he started at some 3 as well. So a versatile guy offensively and defensively, just a guy who kind of always seemed to do the right thing and didn't really make a whole lot of mistakes. We would talk a ton like we wish Jaylen would shoot it more and score more because he was super efficient when he scored. But the Jaylen Williams stat line would be like 4 of 5 for 12 points and 8 rebounds or whatever. It felt like every time we did a recap, that's exactly what it was. And we're like, shoot it more. Like, especially when there would be stretches in the game where, Auburn couldn't score. And it's like, let Jaylen do it. It seems like every time he tries to do something, it works. But he was such a team first guy that I think that really hindered what his production could be. But the Jaylen Williams era of Auburn basketball is like the winningest era of Auburn basketball until you count, this year versus his first year. So
yeah,
a really good Auburn basketball player for sure.
And he wasn't on the team last year. He didn't get drafted in the draft. Played for the G League last year. Played for the Grand Rapids Gold last year. Where's Grand Rapids? Do you know?
I don't know. Do you?
Michigan. Yeah, I used to live there.
You used to live in Michigan?
I did. Yeah, from the ripe age of 3 to the ripe age of 8.
Really? That's a pretty long time.
5 years.
Those are like key developmental years right there.
I learned how to read, walk, probably all kinds.
Do you like the Wolverines?
Yeah, my mom was born in Ann Arbor, and my mom's whole family lives there. So we've been.
Got it.
I grew up in Ohio after Michigan. I grew up in Ohio, and everybody
so
around me.
Messed up.
Everybody was. I'm just all Midwest. my whole family was Michigan, and everybody at school was all Ohio State, and they never won the Michigan Ohio State game my whole middle school, high school career, and it was terrible.
You should have texted them all back over these last few years. Just to let them hear it.
Screw you guys.
Yeah.
So Jaylen Williams on the summer league team for the Mavs.
Right.
I guess he has a chance to be one of those other two-way guys. That's the one lone opportunity on this Mavericks roster right now. And so it'd be interesting to see, how he plays and how he fits in and where he slides in for the Mavericks.
Yeah. He's one of those guys. we were talking about this in real time. The whole putting guys into the league is relatively new for Auburn basketball fans. And so a lot of the fan base, when we think this guy's really good, it's, he's going to get drafted high. And the NBA drafts way more off of traits than production and all that stuff. So let me ask you this, is there a role for a Jaylen Williams, this Jaylen Williams that we're talking about, type player for the Mavs or in the NBA? Because it's a lot of it is what is he? Sure, you were versatile at the college level. What is he at the NBA level?
Those versatile type players, especially, so he's 6'8", he shot 39% from 3 his last year. Like you said, he didn't shoot a lot. It was 2.5 attempts per game, right?
Okay,
if you can shoot, right. If you can shoot and you're big and you have a bunch of different skills, you better either be like Cooper Flagg, where you're doing everything, maybe not to an MVP level, but you're doing everything, or you've got specific skills that you can come in and show right away. And yeah, there's just so many good players at those forward spots right now that it's hard for specialists to try and break through anymore. But guys still get paid. Like a Duncan Robinson, all he does is like shoot threes, and he just got signed to a big deal. Sam Hauser for the Celtics, kind of the same thing. But yeah, I think
guys
role
play
for
so long. I mean, like Jaylen Williams played at Auburn for 5 years, like you said. Miles was a senior last year, 22, a little bit older than you would typically like for a guy to come into the league. How much does that play into this? Like if it's tied or close, like does the nod go to the younger guy typically?
Yeah, I think that's what we've seen in the draft is younger guys get that nod pretty much every time. But then we've seen it backfire. Like Jalen Brunson went in the second round. There's no way he should have gone in the second round. He was awesome.
Right.
Just seen that over and over again. But I mean, your guy
Y'all
Walker
drafted
Kessler
him, right?
did 33. They drafted him 33.
And y'all traded. What did y'all get for him when you traded him?
We got.
This isn't a bit. I genuinely don't know.
Oh, nothing. They didn't trade him. He signed. He signed to the Knicks and free agent. No, he was a free agent.
Oh.
And Mark Cuban got on the Mavs broadcast the last game of the season and said, we can offer more money than anybody else to Jalen Brunson. That's how we're going to keep him. And he was very confident they were going to keep him. And then the Knicks hired his dad, Rick Brunson, to be an assistant coach. And then Leon Rose was Jalen Brunson's agent, is also Rick Brunson's agent. CAA is the agency. And then Leon Rose became the GM of the Knicks, hired Rick Brunson. And then it was like, oh, well, his former agent who just hired his dad is now part of the Knicks, and they have this cap space to sign him away. And so they offered him more money than the Mavs eventually did. And then Mark Cuban said, well, we didn't get a chance to offer him more money. It's like, okay, well, the writing was on the wall.
That's crazy.
We've been through that one. We went through so many times. people were sick of that too. It was like the Luka trade. They're like, stop talking about it. It's like ripple effects for the Mavs.
Yeah,
forever.
y'all are a dramatic organization for sure.
They never do anything normal. I said that to
I mean, Auburn's the same way. Like it's always just
fair.
Chaos happening. So I totally get it.
Yeah, Cam Newton, huge, right?
He was pretty good though.
Oh, I mean, yeah, but that's the thing. It's never normal. It's always like incredible or like.
No, we can't just have a great
weird
year. Like there's got to be some controversy there. 100%.
Can you tell us any kind of story about like you have to cover high school guys? Like
I do.
You've mentioned times where you've been like talking to a player or something, and they like have to go to class. Can you share any kind of stories about that? Because I think those are hilarious.
Yeah, no, I was texting with a recruit. I know what you're referring to. I was texting with a kid, or I DM'd him, and he's like, "Text me, I'm in math class." I'm like, "Okay," and he had to do like some after school thing, and he's like, "Yeah, let me do the interview like before my basketball game tonight." So it's just like
a football recruit. He had a basketball game.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of these guys play multiple sports, right?
Yeah, right.
So,
no.
like, yeah, okay, cool. Like, don't text me in math class. I feel like that's not a good example to set, but also like you're probably going to be pretty well off if you're playing college football in this era. So, yeah, whatever.
Every time we talk about how different it is to cover a school and to cover a professional team, it's just the gap is so wide.
I mean, imagine having 2 free agency windows every year now, and there's no contracts. People could just leave now. Think about that.
There's contracts in the money, but not in the staying. It's like
right, and it's like, how much is the contract with the money even enforceable? Like that's in courts right now. It's like nobody even really knows. It's ridiculous.
Is it way more fun though for you?
The media, like being in media, talking about it, it's super fun. But like, I love college football, and it's like, is this sustainable? I don't know.
Wow.
I don't know. We need people to step up and do something.
Well, and it takes that college thing where people are like, I got to learn new guys every day, like every year. Now it's like twice a year, maybe you got to learn new guys because people will leave. And
yeah, well, for basketball, for sure. I mean, Auburn made it to the Final Four last year. I can't say that enough. We have one guy coming back, Tahad Pettiford. And if he would have stayed in the draft, we would have had no guys returning.
Wow.
But like, that's not unusual. Like that, a lot of people are like that.
Did a bunch of guys transfer?
Well, we were really old last year, so a lot of our guys graduated. Yeah.
Who's your favorite former Auburn guy that's in the NBA? So you got Walker Kessler, Jabari Smith, Sharif Cooper, JT Thor, Isaac Okoro just got traded for
Yeah.
Alonzo Ball.
Yeah.
Chuma Okeke.
Probably Jabari.
Yeah.
Probably Jabari. I mean, what he did was pretty, like, we haven't seen another Jabari Smith. There's been other guys that have kind of had similar impacts, but yeah, Jabari. I mean, Jabari came in, was like probably the second best Auburn basketball player of all time. And he did his thing, won an SEC championship and left.
Do people at Auburn love Charles Barkley? Because every time he gets mentioned with college, people mention Auburn.
Yeah.
Is he beloved?
No, Charles Barkley's great. 100%.
He's
100%.
as beloved as people
In
think.
fact, I had a, I mean, I think he's in the Mount Rushmore, right? One of the best offseason topics you can do. He's in the Auburn Mount Rushmore for sure. I think, though, now when you talk about legacy and winning, like, I think Janai Broom passed him as the greatest Auburn basketball player ever.
Wow.
Yeah, that's my take. A lot of people hate it. A lot of people agree. So
That's wild. What did he do? Taking him to a Final Four? That was what cemented him? Or just individually?
yeah. Yeah. And we've won, I think he won 3 championships at Auburn. I don't think Charles won one. Nothing against Charles, but like, I mean, we didn't have anybody else. So, I mean, winning championships has to matter. It has to.
Have you've heard that story where Charles Barkley tried to pay Dirk to come to Auburn?
Oh, yeah.
What would that have been?
That would be
like?
awesome. That would have been great.
That would have been amazing. He gets this, Dirk gets discovered at Auburn.
It's kind of funny to think about. And like, we were like, when he would have been there, like it would have made no sense whatsoever because we were so bad at that point.
He would have been getting paid though.
That's right.
If you're
Free NIL.
interested in Auburn or SEC or just like college sports at all, Locked On Auburn is amazing. I've listened to so many episodes during their run to the Final Four, by the way.
Auburn made it to the Final Four last year.
Go listen to Locked On Auburn.
Yep.
Great stuff all the time. You also run the whole college channel.
I do. Between the two of us, we run 2/5 of the network.
That's right. If we go down in a plane, everything goes. The whole network goes down with us.
What do you think David would do?
He would replace us the next day. He would be like, Wes Goldberg, come on down.
You think that'd be your replacement, Wes?
No, probably. I like Wes.
All right.
We'll see.
What show does Wes host?
Locked On Heat.
Okay, got it.
I hate that I like Wes so much because we hate the Heat as the Mavericks. Like all Mavs fans hate the Heat because 2006.
Oh, that was D Wade's first.
His first.
It's not a bit. I don't know.
Yes, his first. Yeah, his first one.
Y'all got him back, right? Didn't y'all get him back
in 2011? Yeah. So it's kind of like, but in 2006 was when the Donaghy stuff happened. The Tim Donaghy stuff happened. The referee.
Is that the betting stuff?
Yes, and then then Dwayne Wade got more free throws than anybody else in the NBA Finals, and they were like, and then he came out and said like, yeah, it was kind of cheating.
Hey, speaking of a lot of free throws thing, where are you with this SGA being a free throw merchant? Where are you with all that discussion?
He doesn't take as many free throws as people think that he does. He definitely gets calls. And the thing about SGA and watching the Thunder at all, the contrast between what their defenders, like Lou Dort, I cannot stand watching Lou Dort play defense, even though he's incredible at it. Watching Lou Dort play defense, watching Alex Caruso play defense, even Jaylin Williams, the J-Dub Jaylen Williams from Santa Clara.
Not Auburn, Jaylen Williams.
Correct. Or Arkansas, Jaylen Williams.
Got it.
Watching them play defense and how physical they're allowed to be, and then watching the calls that SGA gets is so jarring that you go, oh, he must be a free throw merchant. He must just be getting these free throws because the way that they're calling him is so different than the way that their defense gets called.
Got it.
You're really into cards. Like
this is where I was going. Do you remember? Do you know what I'm about to say?
No,
I was about to say. Last year, I had several SGA cards, and I asked you, like, will his stock go up? And you said, no, it really can't. So
I said that.
Damn. I sold all of them. Still made money, but I see some of those similar cards going now, and I'm like, all right, that's fine. So I'm never asking you held that.
You held that until we were recording on the show.
So I wanted it out there.
So you could expose me.
Absolutely.
That was just when the Mavs had just beaten them in the and it seemed
so
like,
you do remember me asking you that.
Yeah. Well, if it was last year, then yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember when last year, but I do remember asking you that. And I'm like, okay, I'll sell it. Cool.
Have you seen Cooper Flagg Mavs cards? Is that have they started?
Those have not been printed yet. Those aren't in a set yet.
Have you seen any Anthony Davis ones? Like Mavs. Those got to be weird.
When did he join?
February.
He joined during the season, right?
February.
Yeah, he's probably in some of the sets. I don't know who he signs with. I'm not huge into the NBA card world. Hence why I went to you for advice. And
I gave you terrible advice.
You think people liked this? How do you think this went?
I think if they made it to this point, they liked it a lot. And so I appreciate you guys. If any of the Raccoon Squad made it at this point in the show, I appreciate it. And yeah, you loved it. If not, they checked out real early when they were like, you guys are talking about a two-way guy and a guy on the summer league team, just those guys, not the rest of them, not Cooper Flagg, not Kyrie Irving, not Anthony Davis.
That's right. Or 30 seconds in to be like, this guy was shocked that they didn't take Janai Broom first overall. Some people didn't catch that sarcasm.
There will definitely be people.
They checked out immediately.
There will definitely be people that will comment on that before they hear you finish that sentence.
When Miles Kelly makes his NBA debut, we're getting another one of these.
Oh, yeah. And if they pick up any other Auburn guys, who else could they get? Are you excited about Janai Broom on the Sixers? Because he's playing in summer league, like he's starting.
Yeah, his stats are good. Yeah, and I really like VJ Edgecombe too. Like I really like both of those guys a ton, obviously. So I'm following the Sixers now for sure.
Heck yeah. Oh, and our Sixers show is great. Mark Farcetta, so good.
They're fun.
Keith.
They're fun. Amazing. They're fun. He's more excited about VJ than Janai, though. I don't know why.
Can't imagine.
I can't imagine why. I don't know.
VJ has already become a Sixer. He was out with a thumb contusion for the second summer league game. Like that's pure Sixer to be out with a dumb injury like that.
Oh, really? Like to miss a few games kind of thing? Like nothing crazy, but you're going to miss some time?
Yeah. Embiid always misses time with weird stuff. Paul George misses time with weird stuff.
Got it.
Even Jared McCain missed time last year, not with weird stuff, but definitely missed some time.
Too much TikTok dancing, right? Isn't that him?
Well, he paints his nails, which weighs down his hands, and then that made him get hurt.
Got it. Who's your favorite Auburn player in the NBA? Man, other than Miles Kelly.
Every time I think about Walker Kessler, I think about how I'll call out another one of our guys. Mavs draft was just hated on him the whole draft process. Said that he'll never work. His feet were too slow, and then he went into his rookie year and was awesome. And then he had to go retract that a bunch of times. I remember talking to him about him on a show.
We did a Locked On Podcast Network retreat, and of course David's there with the Jazz, and it was like right after the draft, the first one we did. I'm like, what do you think about Kessler? He's like, we love him. He doesn't have to coil when he jumps. And I'm like, all right, cool. Sweet.
He doesn't have to coil when he jumps.
Yeah. Like, awesome.
There's this account.
And he's right. I never really thought about it, but yeah, he's right.
There's this account that talks about the biomechanics of people jumping or getting a steal or shooting. And it's so technical. And I'm like, who's the audience for this? And they would talk about stuff like that, like coiling.
David Locke. David Locke is the audience.
Our fearless leader.
That's right.
Who's going to be the best player in Auburn this year, basketball?
Todd Pettiford.
He's back. He's the only guy.
They also got this dude from UCF who led the Big 12 in points per game, Keyshawn Hall. That tandem is going to be maybe the best scoring tandem in the SEC.
Is SEC going to be as good as it was last year?
Should be. The money's there. They're starting to get a lot of guys from European countries to transfer over, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah, we saw.
With NIL now, you can make more playing for college teams than you can pro teams overseas now, which is fascinating.
Yeah, that is a wild economic. We saw Yegor Demon from BYU go early in the draft. We saw Yakachonis go from Illinois go to the Heat. We've seen these guys. Yeah,
we got a guy, Philip Jovic, I believe is his name. 7-footer, super athletic, can shoot the heck out of a ball. I'm like, all right, we may be talking about him.
Playing for Auburn this year?
Yeah.
Let's go.
We had to wait 2 months before he got eligible. I'm like, this is awesome. This is fun.
That is fun. There is something fun about getting new players every year. When the Mavs kind of change their roster all over, it's all right, this is kind of fun. It's like putting a new team together.
So when they leave you, though, as you know, it's when they leave where it's like, oh, dang.
It's when they get left. Like it's when they get left in LA and they don't get to say goodbye. That's like
Oh, is that it? Got it.
that was bad.
Got it. All right.
You done? You got
Tell you what, we wanted to do this for years, and I think it lived up to the hype.
I tried to end it like 10 minutes ago. Thanks for hanging out with us on Locked On Mavs. Go check out Locked On Auburn. Great stuff all the time over there from Zac Blackerby, the GOAT, absolutely. And we'll be back tomorrow with more Locked On Mavs. We'll be breaking down the Summer League team and everything you need to know about Summer League. Thanks so much for listening to Locked On Mavs.
Peace out.
Boom. Woot, woot, woot.